Not listen to the gossips. Multiple relationships, people are jumping from relation to relationship. You do not have, then you end up fighting, not trying to bitch about me. You can insert the B word. And if they're somebody coming and telling you, oh, your friend is like this, oh, your friend is like that, or your relationship is like that, they're bad. They were not into maybe substance, or whether they became rich or poor, or whether they became sick. Hello everyone, welcome back to another topic, discussions. When I did my previous video, this specific video, I had mentioned in that my management was smart enough to understand and to not listen to the gossips. I had received a comment or a message saying that how does the management or anybody for that matter filter these kind of communications? Thought that I must address this comment because this is a thought, like not everybody is capable of filtering or understanding like what is the right thing or what is the right decision to take when you have a lot of people commenting on a lot of things. And if you are a person who listens to a lot of people, then it's very difficult for you to filter down to what you should listen to and whom you should not listen to. It comes with a lot of experience in life for some people, okay? It varies from people to people, it varies from circumstances to circumstances, situation to situation, and even culture, and so many things are getting influenced when you're making a decision. As an individual, I could give you some ideas as to how to make the right decision. It's primarily to understand what is your ultimate goal. And if this idea or the suggestion is in line with that goal, yes, go ahead and take that idea or the decision. For example, I'm trying to set up a business and I need to win the trust of my employees or my team. Then I have to limit the interferences of the third party people from outside. So that is like the basic common sense, In conjunction to this, I'll be discussing one more experience of mine along in this video, so just to give you a clarity or a better understanding of this discussion. You would be already acquiring a team to work with you, or you would be having a personal, like in your personal life, you have already have a family that you're going along with, like for example, you have a spouse, you have already chosen the spouse for you. So it is important to give the priority to the immediate team or your, in the personal circle, your immediate circle, because if you have chosen that circle, okay, I'm talking about a married couple or anything like that, you have chosen that person. So you have to give the priority to that immediate team rather than an outsider, because this team is going to help you in building your immediate goals, not the outsiders, because outsiders are at the end of the day the outsider and they have their own agendas and their own goals to achieve. Now coming to the conjunction that I was talking about in filtering relationships and taking people along in your life. I have mentioned this previously. People have situationship, people have so many different scenarios happening in their lives. As long as you're happy and you're content, yes, I appreciate whatever decisions and relationships you're making. But what I see is that people have relationships, people have multiple relationships, people are jumping from relation to relationship. But even then, I can't find, they are not happy. They do not feel the contentment, no matter how many relationships they have, no matter they have multiple partners, no matter they have so many, whatever they're trying to achieve. And at the end of the day, if they're not content with their decisions, so what was the point of having all these relationships, right? Even if you have one relationship and if you're happy and content in that, that is the best possible solution. So what I'm trying to say when I'm talking about the situationships and all those things, first of all, try to create a scenario where you are actually content and happy in your relationship, whether it's one or multiple or whatever, What I'm saying is, like, today you have a relationship with somebody, then tomorrow you do not have, then you end up fighting, and then so many things that we come across with people. What was the point of the relationship, or what was the point of even spending that 1 minute of happiness together? Then that becomes meaningless, There is no trust, there is no longevity for the relationship. I don't think humans can function in a long period without trusting each other or without having proper, trusting yourself and in the people around. I don't think humans can function for a very long in a healthy manner, It starts impacting you. That's why people get stressed and a lot of tensions, because, the trust factor is getting reduced. So at least have one person whom you can trust in your life, if not many, at least you have one or two people whom you can actually trust and take them along. Like for me, I make sure that whenever my friends or my relationships, I have a very long relationships, whomever are with me right now. I have very few people whom I'm carrying along right now in the form of friendships or relationships. They had been with me for 25 plus years. So I've known them for so long. And how did I maintain them? I don't know it. It just naturally happened. For me, like in the initial 2 years, if they did not, if they were loyal, if they were honest, and if the friendship was real, like they're not trying to backstab me, they're not trying to the which word, not trying to witch about me. You can insert the B word, and if they're not trying to witch about me, and then that friendship I'm going to carry along forever. In the initial 2 years, in the initial six months to 2 years, if I find the person to be real to me, to be honest with me, then I'm okay. Then after 10 years, if the person turned into a different person, I don't care. The person is still going to be my friend. Because recently I had somebody coming and telling me, oh, your friend is like this, oh, your friend is like that, or your relationship is like that, they're bad. I don't care, because I took them as my friend, or I took them into my relationship. And after 5 years or 10 years, when I started the friendship, they were not into maybe substance, or they were not into alcohol, or they had a different vision about their life. 5 years down the lane or 10 years down the lane, life happened and their decisions changed, and they themselves turned into a completely different person. So life happens to everybody, not only to me or to one or two people. Life happens to everybody, and people change, and some people don't change. So even if they change, they're going to be still my friend, or still whoever my relationship. I'm going to maintain it no matter how much they change, because when the first time they came to me as a friend, or as my spouse, or as my whatever, and I accepted them in that form, they're going to be with me forever. I'm not going to leave them in between just because their character changed, or because something else happened to my friend. I'm not going to change that relationship just because of life happened to them. Okay, this is something very, very clear about me. Whether they became rich or poor, or whether they became sick, or they had some problem, I'm not going to abandon my friendship or my relationships. Because when I decide to have a relationship or a friendship, for me, it's going to be a long-term relationship. Once the trust is there, I'm going to carry it forever with me. So this is my idea of my relationship. So whatever is your idea, whatever your thoughts are on this, please feel free to share it, because I receive a lot of messages with regard to relationship and friendship maintenance and all those things. Keen to understand what is the general thought of the public, and we can improve ourselves and our thought process in better discussions about these kind of topics. That's what I believe. So as always, thank you for spending your time here. Until we meet next time, thank you and bye-bye.